Hey, this is René. Welcome back for another video. Today is the first actual video of a series in which I will show you exactly every single step from the beginning to the finished product, how to upload or how to create and then upload a product to the mql5 market, an expert advisor. The mql5 market is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to earn some money for your own trading business if you do not have a lot of money. I receive a lot of messages asking me what I would recommend if the person only has like 100 or 200 or 300 US dollar. In this case, I would never recommend buying an expert advisor and using it. Because if you do not have a lot of money to trade, you will never make a lot of money with trading. It is completely unrealistic, even though there might be other people in the internet who say different things, but they are mostly scammers. So be realistic, take the right approach, put in some effort, and this might be your chance to really make it with trading. Because the mql5 market, selling some products in the mql5 market, which is not wrong, it's a honest business. If you do not deceive someone, it's, in my opinion, one of the best ways and also a very easy way to make some money that you can then use for your own trading. Also, you will learn a lot along the way. So after watching this series, you will not have any excuse anymore to not make your first money in the trading industry, not by trading, but by providing programs for others that actually help them to understand and trade the markets better. So to start off or to kick off the series, we first of all need a product, because if you want to publish something in the mql5 market, you really need something, right? So in this video, I will teach you how to code a simple expert advisor that we will then use to upload and hopefully sell it in the mql5 market. So my idea here is to use the Donkian channel indicator. You can see it here already in the chart, which is now also a standard and free indicator in the MetaTrader 5. So everyone watching this video will be able to follow along coding this specific strategy. And what this indicator does is it just indicates the high of the last 20 bars, or X bars actually, and the low of the last X bars. If this high or low is broken, this is usually seen as an entry signal, and in our program we would also use it as an entry signal. So to give you some examples, we can see here, for example, there would have been buy signals, or one buy signal. Here is another buy signal. This would have been a sell signal. Not all of these signals are profitable, but this is also not the idea. The idea is just to make more profits on average than losses. We can also add some kind of trailing stop to also make this a scalping strategy, which usually sells better in the mql5 market because people like scalping strategies. And this is what I want to do in this tutorial. So let's jump into the programming part. So we first of all have to open the MetaQuotes language editor, and this is the MetaQuotes language editor where you can write your own expert advisors. If you have zero or little experience with writing expert advisors, and again, if you do not have a lot of money, you will find everything, really, trust me. If you just watch all of the programming tutorials on my channel, you are pretty much good to go to write and publish your own expert advisor on the mql5 market. If you do have some money and if you want to have the quick and more efficient way, you can also find a link to my complete programming course in the video description, where I teach everything in a super detailed way and with a lot of structure throughout the whole course, and more in detail and more in depth in general. Then you should check out the course in the video description. It's perfect for you if you want to learn quick and efficient. But if you don't have money, you will find everything on this channel. So to create a new expert advisor, we click on new in the upper left corner, we click next, and then choosing a name. I think choosing a name is not super important, of course, for the program because it does not impact the functionality, but it might be important for the sales because the mql5 market, I talked about this a lot, it's a marketplace. So you also have to be some kind of a marketer if you want to generate some sales for your product. So what my idea was for this expert advisor, since we used the Donkeyan channel, and it's an indicator that the famous turtle traders used a couple of years ago to make a lot of money, we can do something with turtle, and I will go with Ninja Turtle, Turtle Scalper, EA. Something like this, something that sounds unique, cool, that people want to use, because it's super irrational, but people or buyers are looking also for, I think, programs that sound cool, even if it has no impact on the functionality. But this is how the mql5 market works. Then you click on next, next, and finish. And this is pretty much your first template for the expert advisor. I like to rearrange my code a bit. You probably saw this in some of my other tutorials. And then we will quickly write the program. It's not a super complex program, just to show you that it does not have to be a super complex program. And it's actually not really about complexity in the mql5 market. It's more about marketing, unfortunately. So, and marketing is fine, as long as you don't deceive someone. What we don't want to do is create unrealistic expectations or lie to generate more sales. We just want to have a program, be completely honest about what it does, and then upload it to the market. If people like it, they can purchase it. If they don't like it, they don't. It's really that simple. So let's start by creating the Donkeyan channel handle, or I like to use a short form DC for Donkeyan channel, and then we want to initialize the handle for the DC here. So I think we don't have a function for this, so we want to use a custom function, or the iCustom function. For the symbol, we want to create some inputs here, period H1, for example, and then we say DC time frame, and then we have the indicator name. If you want to publish something in the internet, it kind of makes sense to include the indicator as a resource. And I think it can be done. Oh, I didn't do this for a long time, but I think we just define the resource. Wait, let me look it up here. Yeah, I think we just path to resource file. I think it also works for indicators. Yeah, there is the example like resource indicator, sample indicator. So let's copy this path, indicator, sample indicator. In this case, the path has to be a little bit different because the Donkeyan channel is in the free indicators, and then the name is Donkeyan channel. So we go with free indicators, and then the name is Donkeyan channel. So this will create a resource. So the Donkeyan channel executable file, so the indicator file is included in the executable file of your MetaTrader 5. So even if the Donkeyan channel is not part of the MetaTrader, of the person who wants to activate the expert advisor, it still works because it's included in the file of the expert advisor. And then I like to define this also as the path, for example, and then use the same what the heck is going on here? The same resource. And let me look this up one more time in the reference so I don't mess this up. Yeah, now the path starts with double colon here. Is it a colon? I think, no. Yeah, it's a colon. Instead of these two backslashes. So like this. This would be the path that you can then use for your iCustom function. But again, you can read about this in the documentation. Everything is written there. And then we need the parameters. The parameter for this specific indicator is just the period, and if we want to show the label. I think the labels are not relevant here for us, so we just go with the period, DC period. It's 20 by default, so we can also use this as the default input. And then we don't want to draw the prices. So that's it. So now in the Ontake function, we can go ahead and say double DC upper. We need arrays for DC upper and DC lower. And then we say copy buffer. We just get the values from our Donkin channel. Buffer number is, I think, wait, can we use upper band or upper line? Let me look this up. Upper line is 0, lower line is 1. So let me check this here. In the data window, we do see that the upper line is 0, but lower line is 2, sorry. So what we can do is, I think, we cannot use any of these predefined constants. So what we just have to do is use 0 here for the upper line. Starting number is 1, count is also 1, I guess, and we store in the DC upper array. Then we also want to copy buffer for the lower line. Here the buffer number is 2, and then we get 1 value and store it in the DC lower array. So now to figure out if we have a signal, like my idea was that we could trade immediately if the price jumps above the upper or lower line. This always, of course, has the chance for some slippage. But yeah, you could do it. But you could also wait for the first 1 minute candle, for example, to close above the upper line. So there are different things you can do actually. So what we can do is we can create a input for this. For example, input, and then we say enum. We create our own enumeration, enum trigger, for example. And then we say we want to have different triggers, trigger tick, for example, or trigger M1. So we can just have different trigger mechanisms, and then we give the user the chance to pick the trigger that he wants to use. So trigger could be trigger tick or trigger M1. And now we have to check here if trigger is equal to trigger tick. In this case, we want to use let's say the bid price to check if there was a signal, symbol bid, like this. So here it's super easy. We can just check if bid. Oh, wait, let's just check if we can also check just if price is above something, because here we can also say if trigger is equal to trigger M1, then we want to say price is equal to the close price of the last M1 bar. So we don't need to check this here, but instead we can just check if price is above DC upper at index 0, or if price is below DC lower at index 0. So we're just checking for the signal pretty much. Then for the position opening, I want to include the trade.mqh file, like always. And then we can create a function here to open the position, execute by, for example, and a function to create the sell position or to send the sell order. Also, since we want to upload the program to the store, it definitely makes sense to have some kind of structure here for the inputs. Something like this, for example, and we also want to define stuff like the magic number. So the user is able to pick his or her own magic number, and this definitely makes sense. Also, we need a trade object, and here we want to say in the onInit function trade set expert magic, and then we use the magic number here. This is set expert magic number. This is recommended, so if the user uses different programs or expert advisors, he can then the expert advisor can find its own trades by using the magic number here. So yeah, so far so good. So now for execute buy, we say trade.buy, and we use this function later on and make it a little bit more complex, because if we upload the program to the MetaTrader 5 store, there might be some issues that we have to check before we send the order. So for the volume, we want to have a input here. So we can also say input group. We create another group and we say signal settings, something like this. And then we have a input group where we say trade settings. And here we can say, for example, input double lots 0.2 or something, or 0.01 or 0.1, whatever you want to set as a default value. So now we can use the slot size here. Then we can say we want to trade the current chart symbol. We want to have first of all, we just open the position at the current price. We will come back here and define take profit and stop loss later on. But so far, I just want to check if the program is working. So what we did here is we so far just checked if the Donchian channel, like how the Donchian channel looks, and then if we do have a signal. So let me do some first tests to see if this is okay or if I messed up. So there's the tester. Let me quickly make this a little bit smaller here. So in the tester, what we want to do is we want to do a visualize test. Choose the program, which is the Turtle, or Ninja Turtle, in fact. Wow, what a cool name, right? Ninja Turtle Scalper. We can choose any data we want to test. And let's just test for the current year in the visual mode. That's important. And then we will go with the trigger tick first. So let's give it a go. And this will be super messy because it will open a lot of positions. And we will have to take care of this later on. But first of all, I want to check if, like, in general, the program works as I want it to work. So what we can see here is that it is loading the indicator, which is great. And there are the first signals, which is great. So we do see signals. This is what I mean. A bunch of signals, which is super annoying. And this is, of course, not really what we want. So let's take care of this first. So we want to say if we open a position, like my idea is, or what I like to do is when I work with a Donchian channel, for example, I want to open a position and then I do not want to open another position as soon as the price drops below the middle line, for example. And this is what we could also do here. Like, let's say, for example, DC, we could create another array here for the middle line, and then we say copy buffer, handle DC, and now the buffer number is 1, of course, and DC middle. That's how we do. So now we can say that we create some global variables. For example, we could say Boolean, Boolean is buy allowed and is sell allowed. And here we could say if price is below DC middle, then we want to say is buy allowed is true. And as if price is above DC middle, then we want to say is allowed or is sell allowed is true. And also after sending a position, we of course want to say if buy allowed is false, because then we don't want to see more buy positions. And here we want to say is sell allowed is false. And then before we open the position, of course, we also want to check if is buy allowed is actually true, because otherwise we don't want to open more buy positions. And here we say if is sell allowed is true. And yeah, if we do it like this, we should only see one position now. Let's quickly test this. And of course, it is important that your program is stable and secure when you upload it to the mql5 market, because you have to be aware that others might use your program to trade actual live money with it. So make sure that there are at least the least possible amount of bugs in your program that you can create. So write the program as good as you can. So here we can see now we only see one buy position, and now the price is below the middle line. There's a sell position. So we could see more buy positions now. We can actually not see more sell positions, I think, because we are not above the middle line, and this is why we don't see another sell position here. And now we can see both positions again. There's a buy position, there's a sell position, there's another buy. And now this is a bit tricky because we do see two buy positions here closely after each other. I don't know if the price was below the middle line. I mean, it does not look like. So this is a bit weird. But maybe also the price here dropped below the middle line and I didn't really realize. But yeah, I think in general it works. I will do more testing, so I will figure it out. So what I also want to check is if the trigger M1 is working and if it is looking different, because now we should see another chart here, which also shows us the M1 data chart, so we can check the actual signals there. So here we see the program is running and working. And yeah, unfortunately, we do not see in the M1 chart here where the Donchian channel is. So we just have to wait for the first signal and now try to compare it. But yeah, if we see here at 8 o'clock, the signal was opened. And I mean, it's a bit hard to tell, right? But I think it would be correct because this bar was above the Donchian channel, and also, yeah, I mean, I think it's a little hard to tell here. So what we, I mean, it should work. So we can also check this later on. So what else do we have to do? Of course, we do need a stop loss and a take profit, right? There are different things you could do here. You could say the stop loss should be on the opposite side of the range. You could say the stop loss should be at the middle at the middle line. You could also say the stop loss should be a percentage of the position open price. This is actually what I personally like a lot, because you can always use it with any price. Like if the price is at 1,000, 1% is 100. But if it's at 2,000, 1% is 200. And this kind of makes sense because usually the price fluctuations throughout the day are higher if the price is higher. And if you, for example, set the TP and the SL in points, it makes backtesting a bit harder, because if the price is at 1,000, like 10 years ago, for example, 200 points would be a lot more compared to if the price is at 2,000. Like if you see relative changes in the price. So what I want to do here is I want to say, let's create some inputs, TP %, for example, and SL %, like this. So what we can do here is we can say, or let's make the TP a little bit smaller, so we do have some kind of scalping mechanism, but I also want to implement trading stops later on. But first of all, let's create the execute buy function here. We want to execute the position at the ask price, of course, for buy positions. And then we also want to calculate the TP, which should be 0. And if TP % is greater than 0, we want to say TP is equal to ask plus ask multiplied with TP % divided by 100. This gives the user the chance to not pick a TP. And also you can always say here TP %. You can create these like helpers here. You can, for example, TP % and 0 is equal to no TP. You could do something like this, and then if the user looks at the inputs, you will see it tells the user exactly that 0 is also an option. You could also do this for the stop loss, but I mean, actually trades should have a stop loss, right? So we maybe don't use this option here. then we do calculate the TP here. Then we do want to calculate the stop loss. We say stop loss is equal to ask minus ask multiplied with SL% divided by 100, not 1000, like this. Now we can use these variables here as the variables for the position opening. And we could also have a comment. I like to do this just as an input, so the user has the chance to just pick a comment. We could say Ninja Turtle. Ninja Turtle. Don't want to choose too crazy comments here as a default setting. So let's copy this block and let's paste it here. We have to modify some kind of stuff here for the sell trades. Of course, here we base everything on the bid price because we are selling. And the calculations have to be a little bit different. Oh, actually I've wrote SL 2 times here, so it has to be like this, of course. And then here we now use bid, SL, TP, and the commentary also from the inputs. So if we compile this, we should not see any error. And if we now make another test with the same program, we should see that TP and SL are now in place for our program. So yeah, we can just see how the TP and SL is placed. So let's wait for the signal. There is the signal. We see a SL which is 1% of the ask price when opened, and TP which is 0.5%. And yeah, that's great. So also same stuff of course works for sell positions. So now we can see positions are closed, sometimes in profit, sometimes negative. But yeah, it's a huge mess, of course, because we don't have the trailing stop yet. So it's not actually a scalping strategy yet. But I, of course, want to implement the trailing stop soon so that we then also see the trailing stop mechanism. Yeah, and it opens a lot of trades. Maybe the distances are too high or anything. But yeah. So what we can do is we can say, let's say, for example, we want to say input double TSL% or TSL trigger. Percent should be something like, let's say, after 0.3% in profit, we want to have the TSL activated, and we say TSL trigger percent 0 means no TSL. So this is also a great option for the user to decide if he wants to use the trailing stop loss or not. And then we have TSL percent, which might be 0.1% after the or dragged along after the current price. And then what I like to do is TSL percent or step percent. This might be relevant because I think if the mql5 market does the automatic validation of your program, it's also checking if there are too many operations. And with something like this, you can make sure that there are not too many operations. You also want to make this a little bit higher even. So now we can say in our program here, in the Onti function, we want to say that we want to just loop through all of the positions somewhere, maybe up here immediately at the beginning. Positions total -1, I greater equals 0, I minus. So we do it like this, and then we just say see position info position, and then we just want to select every single position, select by index, add index I, and if we are able to select a position, we want to check, and now this is important, if position symbol is equal to the chart symbol, and if position magic number is equal to the magic number. So you can see here it is super important that we check the magic number because we want to deploy this program in the mql5 market. So if we sell this to someone, we have to make sure that the expert advisor is recognizing its own trades by, for example, the magic number. And this is why we use the magic number here. So next up, we want to check if position type is equal to position type by. And also, I mean, often I just use the same line for this. Like, just do it like this. It will save you one line, and the outcome is kind of the same. or exactly the same actually. So here we want to check if it's a buy position or if it is a sell position. Position type equal to position type sell. And then we say if it's a buy position, we want to check, or just in general, like before we check this, we want to check if the trigger percent is greater than 0, because otherwise we don't want to use the trailing stop, right? So, but here, if the trigger percent is greater than 0, we want to check for buy positions if, oh, now we need the bid and ask price again. So let's get it here. Bid is equal to symbol info double symbol bid. And here we get the ask price, symbol info double, symbol ask, like this. And yeah, now we can also say here, for example, this should be the bid price because we received it already, but I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, here we want to check if the bid price for buy positions is above the position price open plus position price open multiplied with TSL trigger percent divided by 100. So we check if the trigger is reached. If yes, we want to calculate the new stop loss, which would be bid minus TSL percent divided by 100. Oh, or actually it's bid minus bid multiplied with TSL percent divided by 100. And then last but not least, we want to check if this new stop loss, and I think we should round this. Oh, yeah, maybe we should round it here. Normalize double stop loss to the precision of the digits here. And then we want to check if stop loss is now greater than position stop loss plus position or plus bid multiplied with TSL step percent divided by 100. So we have a stop loss which is at least the TSL step percent higher than the previous stop loss. And if this is true, yeah, we just want to say trade, position modify, and we want to say position ticket should be modified with the new stop loss and the old take profit, because the take profit should not be changed here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You could have some kind of fancy print statements here, like position number, position ticket was modified, something like this. But yeah, for programs in the mql5 market, I often don't do this because I don't know how many print statements the user want to see in his or her journal. But what you can also do is, of course, is you can create a input for this. Like, for example, input bool is send logs. And then you can say if send logs is true, it will send the logs. If not, it's not true. So you could say here if is send logs is true, then you want to send the print statement. Otherwise, you don't want to send. So what I want to do next is I want to write the code for the sale positions. Here I want to check if the ask price is below position price open minus position price open multiplied with TSL trigger percent divided by 100. Then we want to calculate the stop loss, which is ask plus ask multiplied with TSL percent divided by 100. And then we want to round this like this. And then we want to check if SL is smaller than position stop loss minus ask multiplied with TSL trigger percent divided by 100. Wait, actually it's TSL step percent, not trigger percent. And if this is true, yeah, we just want to say trade, position modify, position ticket, stop loss, position take profit should stay the same. And then again, we send the logs if the user wants to see them. Print function position number, position ticket was modified. Okay, like this. So this is the first working version of the program pretty much. there's a semicolon error here, like this. Now it should work. So this is the first working program. It will not be accepted in the mql5 market, but I will still try to upload something like this to the mql5 market, so I can show you exactly what the errors are that you might face when you upload something to the mql5 market, which is not 100% perfect for the mql5 market. So I can show you how to fix these errors. But yeah, first of all, let's see if the trading stop loss is working. So first buy position is in place. Let's see what happens if I fast forward. Trade was not in profit enough. Shoot, I was not quick enough. But do we see the, yeah, there were some modifications for the sell position, I think. But little trick that I can do here is also I can increase the inputs. So I will make it easier for me to see how the stop loss works. So what I want to do here is I want to say TP% should be like 1.5. Then TSL trigger is 0.3 and TSL percent is also 0.3. So now we should definitely see the trading stop loss working in the tester here. And then, yeah, I think this might be the first version that I want to try to upload to the mql5 market. So you can see here, now the take profit is further away. So it's easier for us to see the trading stop. So the sell position should get, yeah, at this point it is in profit. So you can see the stop loss is now always 0.3% roughly behind the price here. And it always is dragged along if the price moves more in profit. And yeah, then at this point the trading stop loss closed the position. So let's also find an example for a buy position where the trading stop loss is activated. This was another sell. Yeah, see, here we do have some buy positions and they are now secured with this trading stop loss. And then the positions are closed at some point. So this will, of course, also change the outcome of the program. It might be better or worse. I mean, the settings here are, of course, definitely not perfect for the program. And this is also an important step that we have to do next before uploading. We will have to find some good backtesting results that are hopefully realistic and then we can use to show in the mql5 market, because buyers always want to see some backtesting results so they can know roughly what settings or what symbols they could use with this program and what could work. This will not say that these are the best settings, but it will just help the buyer to understand what could work with this specific program. So yeah, actually, so far so good. So next step I think should be to do some testing with the program. And before we do this, I want to show you the code one more time. Oops, what am I doing here? Like this. Wanted to minimize this. So what we here is we have the resource for the indicator. We have, we included the trade.mqh file. We have our own enumeration, which we use here in the trade settings in the signal settings for the trigger. But also we have the trade settings with the lots, TP%, SL%, TSL trigger, TSL%, TSL step percent. And then we do see the Donkin channel time frame, Donkin channel periods for the Donkin channel, of course. We see some more settings. And again, this is important for your programs you want to upload to the mql5 market. Like, give the user the chance to at least define the magic number so he can be really flexible with the programs and use it in different charts and everything. Then we have some global variables. Explained it before why we use them. We initialize the handle and the on-init. We set the expert advisor magic number. This is important that you set the expert advisor magic number for the same object that you will use to open the positions, because otherwise they won't have the magic number. And then in the Onti function, we do have the bid and ask price, and then we do find all of our positions from our expert advisor. We check if we want to use the trailing stop. and then we will use the trading stop, of course, and send some logs if the user wants to see it. And then we calculate the Donkin channel values here. We check if we have to reset one of the, we get the price that we want to use as the trigger price. And then we want to check if we have to reset some of the variables here for buy and sell openings. And then we check for actual signals, check if we are allowed to open in this direction. And then we open a buy or sell position. And we reset the is buy or is sell allowed. And then, of course, here I also have the execute buy and execute sell function that are just used to open the positions. So if I want to upload a new product to the mql5 market, this would be somewhat the first version that I would use then for testing. So this is what I do next. I do some tests, I do some optimization runs in different symbols and different combinations of settings to figure out if this could actually work. So I think this is something I should show you in the next video. So I hope you want to follow along, and I would recommend to do so because you can really learn how to create your own programs and upload them to the MetaTrader 5 market. Let me know if you have questions in the comments below, and see you in the next video of this series.